Downtown, Petco Park, a new beginning, let's go. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Baby said she wanna go to the game. Taught her how to say Padres gang. Started back rocking the brown. Ever since we've been knocking them down. Mitchell and Ness with the old school name. All of the homies holler Padre gang. Yeah, that.
And good day, everybody. Welcome to the Talking Friars Padres versus Giants pregame show. I am your host, Ben Fadden. Tonight, the Padres in San Francisco for the series opener. I believe the Golden State Warriors have a playoff game tonight in that same city against the Dallas Mavericks. So I don't know what the attendance is going to look like for the San Francisco game tonight for that crowd. But nonetheless, 7:15 p.m. Pacific time tonight is first pitch. It'll be Sean Manaea on the mound for the Padres against Jacob Junis for the Giants. Valley Sports San Diego is where you can watch it. 97.3 The Fan is where you can listen to it. The Padres enter tonight in second place in the National League West, a game and a half back of the Dodgers. The Giants are 3 games back of the Dodgers, sitting in third place in the National League West. Giants 22-15. The Padres are 24-14. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the show. Again, I am Ben Fadden, your host. You can follow the show at Talking Friars on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and subscribe to this YouTube channel for daily Padres content. I have my latest interview, probably one of my favorites, or if not my favorite interview that I've done on this show. Just did that one today. Episode 167 is out now with Lauren Shahadi of MLB Network. Talked to her about MLB Central and MLB on TBS and the Padres' chances to win a World Series, and also talked about Nabil Crismat a little bit. She was great. I told her she's my favorite women's TV personality on the planet, so it was great to be able to talk to her. And if you have 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes of your time, I encourage you to go watch or listen to that. Again, it's on YouTube and it's on podcast platforms. All right, let's get to some notes here. Padres obviously coming off that series win in Philly. I recapped that on episode 166. Bob Melvin, Padres manager, is back, returning to the dugout tonight for this series opener against the Giants. Ryan Christensen had been the interim manager, thought he did a decent job. There were some moves where obviously Bob Melvin probably would have had a better idea of what to do there. Steven Wilson, leaving him in the game too long. That's one that stands out to me. But you're an interim manager. He wasn't named the manager, right, of the team. So you can't have like ridiculously high expectations of him. And I thought he did pretty well. It seemed like he handled the media well. And so he's going to go back to being that bench coach role under Bob Melvin tonight. The Padres need one win on this weekend series, this end of the road trip series, to guarantee that winning record for this road trip. They'll be 5-4 even if they go 1-2 in this series. Obviously, they're not hoping to go 1-2, but if they do, hey, you still got a winning road trip against 3 teams that could contend for a playoff spot this year. The Giants and Braves, I think, definitely, especially with the Max Scherzer injury now, going to be out probably 8 weeks with the Mets, and they don't have DeGrom either, so the Mets have to survive. So this could be the Braves' chance to pounce on that in the National League East. So I think they're definitely a playoff contender. And then you got the Phillies, maybe. They're probably the third on that list in terms of playoff contenders of the teams the Padres faced on this road trip. But 3 pretty tough teams on this road trip, and you come home with a winning road trip. I'm going to be pretty happy about that. I think Padre fans should as well. Obviously, you want it to be 6-3 or obviously 7-2. That would be not 7-2. What would it be? They've already lost. 7-2 if they swept the Giants. So you obviously hope that, but 5-4. That's three series that probably were competitive. You didn't get swept in any of them, and you won the majority of the series on the road trip. Dinelson Lamet was sent down earlier today. It was the last couple hours from AAA El Paso to AA San Antonio. It's not clear if he's going to pitch there. You would think if they're sending him down that he might not even pitch there. I have no idea what's going on with that situation. He was optioned last weekend to make room for Robinson Cano, and Cano's obviously played really well. Lamet didn't really have a role in the bullpen, and especially having Mackenzie Gore and Nick Martinez being in the bullpen for the Padres for pretty much this week, you didn't need Lamet on the roster, so they sent him down. And if Lamet's a major leaguer, right? He started the year on the major league roster. You would think that he would be able to find playing time and pitching time in AAA, but he has not pitched. Looking at his game logs, he has not pitched yet in AAA El Paso since he was optioned. So I don't really know what's going on there with him being sent down to AA. He's going to wear number 50. That's what the press release said. I don't know what's going on there. The Padres, maybe Bob Melvin can speak to that when he speaks to the media today, but it's kind of weird that Lamet's being sent down like that. And Quan asked a good question here. Speaking of Lamet, would you trade Dinelson Lamet for Joey Gallo? Probably, yeah. I mean, because Lamet just doesn't have a role on this team. And even if you're looking like into the future, I don't know if you could say that Lamet still has a role on this team, even if like Clev leaves and Martinez leaves and Manaea after the season. Like, I just don't know if he still has a role. I can look up his contract right now to see how many more years he has left. But for me, like, there's always going to be a team out there that thinks that they can fix Dinelson Lamet. I think that's obvious. He has one more year after this year of control. Joey Gallo is a free agent at the end of this season. So I would lean towards yes, just because of, I guess, Gallo's potential, and maybe San Diego's a better fit for him than the Yankees. I don't know. But Gallo is, it's not like they would steal Gallo. It doesn't. Where like it kind of feels like the Taylor Rogers deal, right? The Padres stole Rogers from the Twins. On AJ Preller, there's that tweet going around right now. It's not on AJ Preller. I tweeted back to, I think it was Hog on Twitter, saying that he had a source saying that AJ Preller might face questions and his medicals and all that. It's like, I don't know where he's getting that source from. Questions, that's a nothing burger. I wouldn't put anything into that, just to be honest. Paddock made 5 starts with the Twins before getting hurt. The Mets to deal because their doctor said no. Could have done the exact same thing, and guess what? They didn't. That's their fault. You know, this isn't our. Getting back to kind of how the Taylor Rogers deal, the Padres kind of stemmed from the Twins. I don't think this would really be a steal for the Padres. I mean, Gallo, his OPS plus, league at 100, his OPS is 86. His OPS is under 700. His slugging percentage is only 33. His on base is below 300. He's in only 7 runs this season. He's batting 100. He's batting 170 on the year with his batting average. He's just, I think the Yankees don't really know what to do with him either. It's kind of like him and Aaron Hicks for them. Like, what are they going to do with him? And I don't think they know really the answer to that. He's a free agent at the end of the year. I don't know what his value is really going to be on the free agent market. I think that it might be a deal that the Padres would be like, hey, why not? Like, Lamet's not going to help us. Joey Gallo might, right? Luke Voigt's not hitting. Who knows? Or maybe they'll do this and they just know on the roster the whole year and use him as a DH if Voigt gets hurt again or if he just continues not to work out. He seems like a better option right now for a DH role than Joey Gallo, right? And I don't think you'd put Joey Gallo. I mean, maybe you could put him in the outfield, but I mean, is he better in the outfield than Jurickson Profar? I don't know that question. Is he better offensively than Jurickson Profar? Not really right now. Yeah, he has more power, but Profar has better at bats than Joey Gallo does. So it's an interesting question, and I could maybe look into it more when the trade deadline comes, but I'd say yes, just because of what they don't have to give up Lamet, according to Quan's proposal. But it's not like it's like, oh, we got Joey Gallo, let's go. I don't feel like I don't feel that. Yeah, Quan, you're right. Twins medical staff saw everything that the Mets saw in terms of that Paddock deal. They nixed it. The Twins didn't. All right, let's get back to the pregame show part of it. Shamanai on the mound for the San Diego Padres today. Enters today's matchup with a 3.77 ERA. He had a dominating start last time out with the Braves, in my opinion. He struck out 12 guys. It seemed like when I was watching this game on, I think it was last Saturday, he was striking out everyone. Allowed 3 earned runs. It was on an early Matt Olson home run. They're former teammates, so he knows a lot about Manaea. Not concerned about that. And then that Albies double. But other than that, he was tremendous. Remember, that was the game that Steven Wilson blew Ryan Christensen, who he was the interim manager at that point. Bob Melvin was still recovering from the prostate surgery. He left Wilson in too long and ended up paying the price for it. He gave up that home run to Ozuna, hit d'Arnaud, gave up the go-ahead double to Riley. That's a mistake he'll learn from. But that was the game that Manaea pitched, and he pitched his butt off, and so it was just frustrating for the Padres to lose that game when the Braves gave the Padres that game defensively. They were making a lot of errors. They were up 5-2 in the 8th inning, and they ended up losing the game. Or was it? I think that was that Saturday game, right? Up 5-2. And one of those earned runs went to Manaea when was it Wilson that came in right after Manaea? I forget if it was Wilson right after Manaea, but he came in and a reliever came in, and that third run got charged to Manaea, but Manaea gave up, I believe, 2 runs while he was on the mound. He's only given up 3. He's allowed 3 runs in his last 3 starts. Him and Musgrove, it's like they are the quality starts. They're Mr. Quality Start, both of them. And so you got to expect that again today. I know he's facing a good team, but you got to expect that again today. And then Jacob Junis for the Giants, the former Royal. He's been pitching well this year. 4 starts, a 1.74 ERA. He allowed 2 runs in his last start, 2 runs in the start before that. And that's the most starts that he's allowed, I believe, in any outing so far this year. He's kind of like the Padres rotation in terms of walking guys and in terms of the lack of walking guys. He's not walking a lot of – that's just not what he's doing. So that's not great for the maybe it is great for the Padres' sake of things if they're just going to attack Junis and swing at pitches, and they're going to be aggressive knowing that he hits the strike zone, he throws pitches inside the strike zone, then maybe that's how the Padres want to attack him and not be as patient as some batters, Trent Grisham, have been. Look for them to be aggressive off of Junis. And that's kind of my what to watch for is the Padres being aggressive, Cano in the lineup, and Voit not. Clearly, the Padres agree with my point that I made on the Phillies recap episode. Cano needs to be playing more than Luke Voit. He needs to be getting more at-bats than Luke Voit does right now. Because, look, the Padres, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not contributing, you don't deserve to play over another guy that does. Cano might be 39 years old, and the Padres might have traded for Voit to be the DH. But look, Voit isn't changing his approach. He's still swinging and missing on the breaking balls, right? Just Cano is trying to help the team win more than Voit, if that makes sense, in terms of his approach. Like, he's fine with just taking it the other way, taking his bloop singles. That's just not really what Voit is doing right now. And Cano made a diving play the other day to his left at second base. So he's playing well right now. So he does playing time than Voit. And then another thing what to watch for is Wilson and Suarez. Steven Wilson, Robert Suarez. They're going to pitch at some point this weekend. They have not pitched, either of them, in at least 5 days. A long stretch of not pitching because obviously they had the off day on Monday, and then they didn't have to pitch the entire Philly series because Rogers came in there in the 9th. They had Stammen pitch yesterday before they handed it over to Nick Martinez, right? And then Gore obviously had the piggyback with Clev, so that worked out. So they did not have to use Wilson or Suarez at all in that Philadelphia series. So both of those guys had they've had some shaky outings as of late. How will they do in this San Francisco series? I think they're going to play at some point, and I'll get to the bullpen chart shortly here. And the other what to watch for, first series back in San Francisco since the whole Mauricio Dubon situation. Remember the bunt in that blowout game where Darvish started and Bob Melvin got mad. I got mad. I was on John and Jim's wrap-up show after the game, and they were mad as well. Kind of like, why are you bunting in a, what was it, a 7-1 game, something like that? It was, or yeah, I think it was a 7-run game at that point, and he's just bunting. I don't think they needed to do that. And Gabe Kapler was mad at Dubon, it seemed like, during the game, but then he lied to the media essentially and defended Dubon at a press conference. So is there anything that's going to happen from then? I know Will Myers came out with a quote, I think during that series or maybe after that series, saying that we're going to remember that. So if the Padres are up big on the Giants this series, please, 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 Trent Grisham, go lay down a bunt, because he's bunted sometimes this season. Go lay down a bunt. Or what would be great, to be honest, Manny, go lay down a bunt. That would be funny. Let's see how the Giants react. Let's see how they react. So that's my what to watch for today. Let's see here. Let's get to the bullpen situation. Why not? Let's see here. Hold on one second. Just putting it up here. All right. Here's the bullpen situation. So obviously Wilson, Suarez, Stammen, they're all ready to pitch. Chris Matt, she hasn't pitched in a while. And then Rogers, they'd probably prefer not to use him after he threw 33 pitches and pitched multiple innings yesterday to close out that game. They'd probably prefer not to use Luis Garcia, but they might have to in an 8th or 9th inning role. And so if the Padres have a lead, Wilson and Suarez are getting in there. They're going to get in there in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning. And we'll see how they do. Chris Matt, since he has not pitched in a while, I think you have Musgrove tomorrow. So he's going to go deep tomorrow, probably. That's just what his track record has been this year. I would expect Chris Matt to maybe get a high leverage situation. If they don't use Rogers, they don't want to use Garcia. Okay, well, then you have Wilson, Suarez, Chris Matt. So for 7, 8, 9, if that's how they decide to do things today. So that's kind of the bullpen situation. I mean, Gore Martinez, their starter, they're probably not going to pitch today. I wouldn't expect that. With Manaea on the mound, he usually has quality starts all over the place. And then for the lineup, no Voit, obviously. That's the big thing here. Cronenworth leading off against a righty, not surprising. Grisham down there at the 8 hole. Cronenworth better than Grisham. And then Manny hitting in the 2 hole. And that's kind of interesting, the way that they're doing that. I think that's a second straight game that Manny's hitting in the 2 spot, having Hosmer hitting 3rd, guaranteeing that your 2 best hitters are hitting in that first inning. I've kind of warmed up to that approach that they're doing right now, to be honest with that. I thought it was kind of weird at first. I think I said on the pregame show the other day. But, I mean, the rest of the lineup, I mean, what kind of attack do you have there? What else do you have in that offense? You know, you kind of want to capitalize. And to be honest, Cano's a lefty, so I understand what they're doing there with, Manny as a righty. You have Haas as a lefty, Profar's a lefty today, and then Myers a righty. So they want to balance out that order, so that's why they have Cano 6th, to sandwich a lefty between the 2 righties, Myers and Kim. But in terms of just hitting-wise, I'd probably rather have Cano up there higher right now, especially, and Profar, definitely Profar. I don't really know why they keep hitting him 4th, but again, it's kind of like, okay, what do you have right now, right? Who would you rather have there in that lineup right now, in that 4 spot, without sacrificing the bottom of the order? So that's the Padres order for today. Cronenworth, Machado, Hosmer, Profar, Myers, Cano, Kim, Grisham, and Jorge Alfaro catching Sean Manaea. And then for the Giants, no Yastrzemski, no Brandon Belt. Yep, no Brandon Belt. There is a Brandon in there, Brandon Crawford. Evan Longoria is back. I think he was hurt that series that they played him, that the Padres played San Francisco at Oracle last time. So it's Austin Slater, Darren Ruff, Evan Longoria, Wilmer Flores, Tommy La Stella, Thairo Estrada, Brandon Crawford, Kurt Casale, and Luis Gonzalez. I think Luis Gonzalez just got called up. I think I saw a tweet about that from someone the last couple days. I don't remember him from last series. So those are the lineups for tonight's game. My Padre pick yesterday, I picked Eric Hosmer. He went 1 for 4. So I am 23-11. I'm 23 so far this season in my pregame show pick. Today I'm going to go Jake Cronenworth. I don't think he has a history against Jacob Junis, but lefty against a righty. I think he's been having a little bit better at bats as of late. So I'm going to go with Jake today. That's my Padre pick. All right, let's get to some comments here. We'll go through some MLB news and notes as well before getting out of here. All right. Tupac13, what's up? Gian, is that how you say your name? When the Padres trade deadline 2022, are the Padres going to make a playoffs and make the postseason this year? I think they're a playoff team. I think they have the capability with their rotation, with their pitching staff, as Lauren Shahadi told me and agreed with me today on episode 167, which is available on the podcast platforms and on the YouTube channel today. She agreed that the pitching staff is improved from last year, and that can really go far in the playoffs and make the postseason first off. And you get Tatis back. You have Manny performing like an MVP. They definitely should make the playoffs this year. And if they don't, that's going to be a failure of a season, just like last year was a failure. And the expectations should be higher, by the way, with Bob Melvin as the manager and Ruben Niebla here and Mackenzie Gore pitching well, right? And guys going to be coming back from injury, Pomeranz, Castillo, Baez, right? Guys going to Morhone is, I think, with San Antonio right now. Might be no, he might be with AAA actually. But yeah, they got a lot of reinforcements probably coming back too. So they're definitely a playoff team. I agree with that. What's good, Ace? Hope you're doing well. Steve, they're good on rest. Yes, they are with the bullpen. Yep. Do Zertree 619. Teams can easily score 6 runs in innings. Score as many runs as possible. Oh, so you're going with the Dubon thing. You're going with the Giants' point of view. Yeah, I understand that. But if you were watching the game that night, the Padres weren't coming back. And I'm not saying you don't try. Like, you can try swing bat, but to bunt, I didn't really understand that. But swing away, I'm not saying you can't swing. I was Tatis for the 3-0 Grand Slam he hit against Texas a couple years ago. Or was it last year, whenever that was? He swung. It's kind of the bunt that kind of irritated me. But I guess I've kind of moved past that. It's been a long time. What was it, April played them? That was a while ago. Eric Hosmer's just better says, I haven't seen a lot of steals lately, but I think the Padres should get more aggressive. You can't score that much without runners in scoring position. I get some are not the fastest, but Manny can. I understand what you're saying with the Padres being more aggressive. I think that they're aggressive when they choose to be. Like, they pick their spots well. I'll say that. Like, there's been some base running mistakes. Ha-Seong Kim had one over that Philadelphia series. But I think they're being careful the way that they steal bases. Manny has done it. I think he has like 6 stolen this year. Hosmer doesn't steal, obviously. You want them to be more aggressive, but you also, the guys that are aggressive, you got to have them get on base more. Like Trent Griffin steal bases, right? Well, you got to have him on base more. Cano isn't really a stolen base threat. 39, right? Myers, okay, maybe. I liked how he tagged up yesterday on that sac fly by Kim. But I think right now there's a limited amount of guys that can steal, and they need to get on base to do that, right? And I think they're just being smarter with it. Yeah, maybe you do have a point about them needing to be a little bit more aggressive. But when they are aggressive, it is being successful. I'll say that. All right. some matchups around the Dodgers play in Philadelphia starting up that weekend series after they hosted the Phillies early last weekend, actually. Let's see, Arizona, the Cubs 10-6 today, and the Colorado Mets game got postponed at Coors Field. So I think that's going to be a doubleheader tomorrow. I think that's what I saw. Apple TV Plus game right now is the Cardinals Pirates. I don't think anyone cares. Even though Nolan got called up, I think he's making his big league debut. Fergie Jenkins, a statue at Wrigley today. I saw that. And MLB.com has their new power hitter rankings out. Aaron Judge is 1, Mike Trout's 2, Bryce Harper's 3, Taylor Ward's 4, Rafael Devers is 5, Paul Goldschmidt is 6, Mookie Betts is 7, Giancarlo is 8 with the Yankees, Jordan Alvarez is 9, and no, they did not leave Manny out. Don't worry. Manny Machado is 10th. Nolan Arenado is not in there. Don't worry. Some other notable mentions, Altuve, Jazz Chisholm, Wilson Contreras, who smacked the Padres, CJ Cron, JD Martinez. I think Cron leads Major League Baseball in homers, by the way. Shani, Kyle Tucker, Gene Segura, who the Padres just played, had that good at-bat off Rogers yesterday, even though it ended in a strikeout. So that's pretty much the news around the league right now so far, those hitter power rankings. And again tonight, Padres Giants, 7:15 p.m. Naya against. This has been the Talking Friars podcast. Host Ben Fadden. Again, episode on Lauren Shahadi, MLB Network, TBS. She does a job there. That now it's about 15 minutes on podcasts on YouTube. Bill, I sat down, I think earlier, 166. So I urge you guys to go watch or listen to those. That was really to do with them. All right. Enjoy the game tonight. I'll have those highlights as always on the Talking Friars Twitter account and the post-game recap on all the socials and this YouTube channel. See ya.